I'll tag him in it live as well.
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
It's really true, is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show on Hamilton Radio. Anyone out there who knows me knows I am the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smart ass than a dumbass. Because, guys, 30 years ago, I was a dumbass. This July, I will be celebrating 30 years of being a smart ass. You know, I give all the glory to God, because if it wasn't for God, I would not be here today. So I'm here to help anyone out there. I'm now a nutritional health coach. I'm a recovery coach. Guys, listen, my services to you are free. You tell me you saw my show, you need help, please reach out. I don't want anybody out there thinking they're alone, especially through this past year. It's been crazy. A lot of people are depressed. A lot of people are homebound. So I am here to help you, help your family. Please reach out to me. Thank you. So having said that, I want to introduce my incredible guest today, Shaylyn. Okay, so Shaylyn, you know, you're absolutely beautiful. You're absolutely incredible. And I want to have you tell everyone what you go by and do your little thing right now.
Oh, Geri, thank you so much. So my name is Shaylyn, and I am from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And my little catchphrase is Shaylyn kicking it country. So I'm so excited to be here on your show, and I'm excited to kick it country with you today.
So, you know, I love that, kicking it country. I absolutely love that. I think that's so cool.
Thank you.
You know, you're young. You're only in your 20s, and you've done so much. I mean, I read a little bit about, you know, your bio here, but there's like, this is unbelievable to me for someone so young. Let's talk a little bit about where your journey started. Let's do that.
For sure. So I'm only 22 years old, and I definitely have lived a full life so far. So my music career started when I was 4 years old with my Nana, and she's my favorite person in the entire world, and I would sleep at her house every single weekend, and I would put on concerts. So when I was really young, I would sing nursery rhymes or Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and then as I got a bit older, I would sing her some songs that I learned at school and did all the actions to them and put on a performance. And then when I was about 10 years old, she started to introduce me to classic country music like Johnny Cash and Patsy Cline. And ever since then, I absolutely fell in love with it, and I realized that I want to pursue this music and get to know all of these amazing artists. And now here I am, many years later, with my own albums and songs on the radio, and I'm doing my thing. So I definitely have to give it all up to my Nana.
So, Nana, you wrote a song, Nana's Little Girl.
I did, yes.
We're going to be playing that very soon. Who else in your family? Anyone else in your family musically inclined or any of that?
Actually, yes. So my Nana's brother, so my Uncle Neil, he is in a band, and he sings, amazing singer. He actually sang at my parents' wedding. So it's really nice that my Nana and my uncle and I all get to share music. And he's come to see me perform many times, and of course my Nana has as well. So the sad thing is my Nana actually passed away of cancer 5 years ago. So it's really that's why I did Nana's Little Girl to honor my Nana. But it's really nice that my uncle and I can still do music on my Nana's behalf.
So I think that's beautiful. So let me ask you something. To me, you're young, okay? Your voice is off the charts. And what I don't understand is, how much training have you had?
Okay, so you want the full-on truth?
I want it. Yes, I need to hear that.
Not one singing lesson. I didn't really realize that I wanted to pursue music till I was about 14. Like I realized, okay, this is what I truly want to do for the rest of my life. And I went to go get music lessons, and I was told, you know, Shay, you should probably just keep it raw. I mean, you've had no training, you've had no one, you know, mold you into a certain way, and you just have this raw nature about you. And I think that went well because I love country music, and I find classic country music is raw too. There's no, it's simple. There's none of this extreme craziness. There's just simple singing and storytelling, and that's what I do. So I've had no training.
So I found that hard to believe because of how good you are.
Thank you.
I have a question. Do you ever sing a cappella?
Actually, so that's how I started. I would, any song that I liked and I want to learn, I would only sing a cappella. So I would listen to the artist play it over and over and over on my iPad, and then I would go, okay, I'm going to sing it, but I'm going to change it a bit so it's like Shay's way, because I'm not Patsy Cline, so I don't want to sing it exactly like her. And when I was 10 years old, I went into my very first singing competition, and I sang Folsom Prison Blues a cappella. And I ended up moving on to the next round. I came third. But no, so a cappella was a huge part of my upbringing and how I started this, because I feel like if you can sing a cappella and you can get in tune with just your voice and nothing else, then when you put a band behind you or music behind you, it will be 10 times easier. So I think sometimes too, when I'm learning a new song, I'll sing it a cappella still to this day, because then you can really hear your voice and what you want to do with the song.
So the reason I asked you that was, Elvis is my guy. Elvis is my guy, Catherine, okay? And I always say I was born too late because all I ever listened to was Elvis, oldies, hip-hop, not hip-hop, I'm sorry. No, doo-wop, okay? All that stuff. And a cappella is my favorite.
Oh, nice.
And every time I've ever interviewed incredible musicians and artists from back in the day that are like superstars, I'll put them on the spot on my interviews and I'll say, could you sing something a cappella? And they freeze up. And they're like, wait, what? I'm not prepared. Wait, what? And I'm like, what do you mean? So to me, a cappella shows your true voice and your true talent. And to hear you, this young girl, say what you just said enforces what I believe.
No, that is so true. I mean, again, a lot of it could just be nerves, but you have to be so in tune with yourself, and I think it takes a true artist to be able to, you know, at a drop of a hat, be ready to sing. And for me, it's not scary because that's what I grew up doing. Like, that's what I've done my whole life. So to me, playing with a band was more scary because I'm like, oh no, I'm relying on other people, not just myself. In regards to the Elvis thing, though, I'm really sorry to say he has left the building.
Oh my gosh. Ruben, you here, huh?
You're just kidding.
We're supposed to be making fun of Ruben, okay? I love it.
All right. Next one. I'm thinking.
You are so funny and adorable. All right. So now I have a question then. Could you give us some a cappella?
I can. I will definitely do a little Johnny Cash since I've been talking about him. And Johnny Cash is my favorite artist of all time. So here's a little bit of Folsom Prison Blues. I hear the train coming and it's rolling around the bend. And I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. And I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. That time keeps dragging on. When I hear the whistle blowing on down the San Antonio. There's some Johnny Cash for you.
Okay, so I have to let everyone out there know this was not planned, not even a little bit. No one knew I was going to ask her to do that. I did not expect that. Young lady, you are one of my top 10 singers now.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. And I will under oath, I 100% did not know you were going to ask me to do that. So.
First of all, how did you do that? That was unbelievable. That wasn't just a little a cappella here or there. That was incredible.
Thank you.
Okay, that was awesome. Very nice. Beautiful. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna play Nana's Little Girl now. And then
Awesome.
you really talk about that song with us. Okay, Ruben,
Perfect.
hit it, baby. Yes. Hit it, baby. Ruben, hit it, baby. Ruben, can you hear us?
So, see, I was wrong. Elvis is here. Ruben has left the building.
Ruben has left the building. So, all right. So I don't know what's going on over there. All right. So tell us about that song, and then we'll play it. I hope everything's
Yeah,
okay
for sure.
in the studio.
For sure. So, Nana's Little Girl I wrote as a memory of my Nana. So it wasn't meant to go on radio. It wasn't meant to go on my first album. Like, none of that was supposed to happen. It was near Christmas time, and I was really missing her. It was my first Christmas without her. And I wrote a song titled Nana's Little Girl that just explained our relationship. So I talked about how when I was 4 years old, I'd, sing some nursery rhymes. And then when I got older, I'd sleep at her house and I'd put on a show. And then when I was 14, my Nana actually bought me my first guitar. And when I did the recording of my first album, I had all of my musicians sign her guitar. So I never play it. It just has everyone's signature, and it has Nana's Little Girl on it. So the song is just meant to, it has impacted so many people. Whether someone's lost a mom, a dad, an aunt, a brother, if you've lost anyone close to you, you can definitely feel the song. And every time I perform it, I have a bit of a hard time because there's never a dry eye in the audience. So I always have to look at a certain part on a wall or a light or something, so I'm not looking at anybody. But honestly, Geri, it's a beautiful song, and if you've lost anybody close to you, you'll be able to relate to it as well.
Absolutely. Here we go. We're ready. Let's play it. Nana's
All right.
Little Girl. Yes.
When I was a little girl, 4 years old, my Nana sang to me with all her heart and soul. And I'd sit on her lap and I'd sing along and clap my hands after every song that she said. Remember, you will always be Nana's little girl. When I grew up to be 10 years old, sleep over at Nana's, making music all night long. I'd sing to her as the hours flew by. She said, believe in yourself and never be afraid to fly. And remember, you will always be Nana's little girl. When I turned 14, she bought my first guitar. She said, follow your dreams and shoot for the stars. And I would play her favorite song, and she would dance while she sang along. Then she said, remember, you will always be Nana's little girl. When I turned sweet 16, she broke the news. She said, I'll always watch you just from me a different view. And I'll be in the sky while you're on the ground, but just keep singing and making everyone proud. And remember, you will always be Nana's little girl. The very last time by hospital bed, her hand in mine, she said to me with a smile on her face, keep me in your heart and I'll never be far away. And remember, you will always be Nana's little girl. Her so I just can't seem to let her go. Pick up my guitar and I look up above and play all the songs that she used to love. And I say, remember, I will always be your little girl. Oh, remember, I will always be Nana's little girl.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So you are known as Canada's country music sweetheart. You are a Southern Ontario superstar. I love that. So who named you Canada's country music sweetheart?
That's heard me sing, like family members, friends. Anyone that's heard me sing, they're just like, you're a sweetheart. You were just Canada's sweetheart. Like, everyone said it. And then I was like, okay, everyone's saying it. Maybe I should start calling myself that. It's a sign. So just people who've met me, people at singing competitions, I heard me sing, judges, everyone's like, you were just a sweetheart. So that's how that happened.
And I absolutely love that. Okay. I absolutely love that. So I want you to tell everyone a little bit about all this incredible stuff you've done, okay? So you penned a chart-lasting original called The Drink. We're going to be playing that soon as well. It was first released in 2018, okay? It's on airplay all over the place, really, if we think about it, all over the world, because Canada, the United States, Australia, I mean, all over, the Netherlands, UK, Ireland, right?
You got it. It's worldwide.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So after I did Nana's Little Girl, and it was, I've had lots of compliments about it. I was like, I need to now do an upbeat, fun song. My Nana would want me to do like a nice, fun country song. So I wrote this song called The Drink. And most people think it's like a typical country song, beer, trucks, dogs, all that stuff. But The Drink is actually a love song. And not a lot of people realize that until I explain it to them. But I related drinking to kind of love. And so throughout your entire life, you're going to have lots of partners. You're going to probably date lots of people. Some will work, some won't. Just like you'll have many drinks in your life, wine, whiskey, tequila. And then finally, when you meet the love of your life, who's your soulmate, that's your drink. And that's the drink you will choose every single time. So I kind of just went from drinking to love, but of course it's still a typical fun country song as well.
All right, so I have questions, of course.
Yeah.
Do you write? Are you a poet? Do you do any of that, or just a songwriter?
Just a songwriter. Sometimes some of my songs start off as poems, and then I go, okay, you know what, I could actually add some more and use this as a song. But no, I mostly just songwrite.
Okay. Where'd you come up with that about the drink? Like, tell me.
Okay, so my mom and I were actually, it was a summer day, and we were hanging out in our pool, just the two of us. And my parents had been married for over 20 years, a very long time. And they're madly in love. They're soulmates for each other. And my mom was drinking a beer, and she was happy. It was fun. We were smiling. And when she was finished the beer, it just hit me. I was like, you know, she's like, oh, this is the drink I'll choose. My mom loves beer. And I was like, oh my God, just like my dad. Like she chose one drink. And so I kind of base it off my parents being so much in love and, you know, being with other people before they were together. And they always joke and go, aren't you glad we got together? Because then you came along. So it's actually an inspiration off of my parents because they're so in love with each other.
That's really cool. All right,
Yeah.
so now, wow, we're going to be playing that very soon. But I want you to tell us a little bit about all this really cool stuff. How did it get how did the airways, you know, happen for you? How are you all over the world with this song?
Yeah, so I have a very, very strong, amazing team. Team Shaylyn is absolutely just incredible. And the people who work for me, the musicians that I got to work with. So I have a manager, Paul Anthony, and he's been amazing. He, you know, made all of this happen for me. I have my publicist, Danny Fournier, who promotes it, sends it all over the world. I promote it as well. I'm always promoting my song. Fans of mine, fans all over are, hey, we want to hear Shaylyn's The Drink. And honestly, it's all just fate. One thing lands in my lap and then that goes to something else, kind of like how I'm here today. And I've been very fortunate to have many radio interviews and have my song play all over and gain lots of fans worldwide. So I'm a very, very lucky person.
Well, I have friends in Australia, I have friends in the UK, and I have friends in Ireland. So I will be sharing this to them. Ellie Shaw, man, she's going to be sending it all over Ireland. Limpy from Australia, and we've got Anthony from the UK. It will be everywhere, okay?
Awesome, I'm on board.
Okay, so, all right. You know what? I want to play your next song. Ruben, are we ready? Can we play The Drink?
Taste of tequila, straight out the bottle. Sip the scotch, on the rocks, baby. You make me wanna get drunk off you all night long. 'Cause I like rum, and I like whiskey. Love tasting me when you kiss me. And the taps of booze, you're the drink that I would choose. And honey, you're sweeter, strawberry wine, yeah, the strongest buzz of them all. You got me feeling a little bit alright, yeah. You make me hotter than a shot of Fireball. 'Cause I like rum, and I like whiskey. Love tasting beer, when you kiss me. And the taps and booze, you're the drink that I would choose. tonic and gin, and your ass creamy has a drop of Bailey's. Can't get enough of your bad boy loving. 'Cause I like rum and I like whiskey. Love tasting beer. Oh, when you kiss me. Yeah, before times and booze, you're the drink that I would choose. Baby, you're the drink that I would choose.
I love that. I hear the drink pour. I'm cracking up
Perfect.
over here because, first of all, it was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Second of all, I'm laughing because I'm going to tell everybody, listen, you could get a 2-for-1 here. Buy Shaylyn's song, The Drink, and my book on recovery, okay? Here we go. Let's do it.
Perfect.
Perfect, right? My very first book signing 5.5 years ago when I first wrote my book, because I revised it in 2020, my very first book signing was at a liquor store in my town. A friend of mine managed it and got me the book signing. So check this out. I've got a huge folder, the cover of my book, on their door, and the date and everything, right?
Right.
A friend of mine goes to the liquor store to get something and posts on Facebook that photo and says, only Geri could get a book signing at a liquor store on a book on recovery. Listen, I was laughing so hard. So when you're singing this and I'm sitting here thinking, I was like, this is so great. You know, you're right. Nobody would have thought, when I saw the title of that and I saw your beautiful young face, I said, what? Now I get it. And that is the coolest thing ever. That's the coolest thing ever. So to me, your mind is brilliant.
Thank you. Well, what's really cool, I think, is we're the perfect tag team right now because I got the song, you got the book. But what's really funny too is I put the drink on a CD here, and the background is in a bar. So really funny because I wrote the song when I was too young to even be able to drink, and which is the funny part. And then my front cover is at a bar, so a little bit of a rebel, I guess.
Oh my gosh, but that's incredible. Like, you know, I posted something recently. I've always lived my life outside of the box. I don't even like using the thing box, but you're the same. You're going to go far, girlfriend. You're incredible. Don't lose that mentality. Always, listen, you're funny. You have a quick wit. Okay. You're awesome. Everything about you is incredible to me.
Geri, thank you. And it's funny that you talk about outside the box because my Nana, she was definitely my best friend, like my favorite person in the entire world. And she was always an outside of box kind of person. And then she said to me one day, why do we even need to have a box? Like who says, her thing is always who says. So, you know, someone says, oh, they say girls can't wear pink or can't wear blue. And they're like, who says? So her thing was always forget the box. Don't even have a box and just be you 100%. And that's why I am the way I am.
How old was Nana when she passed?
She was 62, so she was very young.
Okay, and how long ago was that again?
That was 5 years ago.
Okay, so she would have been 67-ish, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, okay. So she sounds like a very beautiful, intelligent person who with a creative mind,
very creative.
Yes, I could tell, you know, and you take after her. Like, listen, she's looking down on you, smiling and saying, wow, you've become the young woman I expected, because you are. I've never heard anyone tell me that they wrote a song called The Drink and it was about love. Okay, never. And I'm cracking up over here because it's brilliant, and that's what's making that song go so far. Plus your incredible voice. Forget that. You know what I mean? I don't even have to say that again. But you know, you have to have a marketing tool, regardless of how incredible you are, how great you are, how smart you are, right? You have to have a marketing tool, and
For sure.
the name of that song is a marketing tool, girlfriend. That's really cool. So,
Thank you. Yes, I bet you will never hear a song again with alcohol and love. I think it's a one-shot deal, and it's pretty cool.
So now let's talk about your love for Cash, and then let's talk about the tribute show you work with and all that. Let's talk about that. Tell us.
Sure. So again, like I mentioned earlier, my Nana introduced me to all the legends, and Johnny Cash, of course, was one of them. And when I was in high school, I actually volunteered at a seniors home, and every Thursday was entertainment night. And so we would wheel the seniors down to like the big venue area, and we'd get them some pop and some chips, and then there would be an entertainer, and it'd be a different entertainer each week, and they would play all of the classic country music that the seniors grew up on. And every single week, Johnny Cash was the most played. Like, they did 4 Johnny Cash songs compared to one of other artists. And I'm like, I've heard this Johnny Cash guy before when I was younger with my Nana, but these are songs I'd never heard by him. And I realized, he's a badass, and he's had a rough life, and he doesn't sugarcoat it. He goes, this is it, this is how it is, and I'm going to tell you a story. And that's what I love about him, because he's not the best singer in the world, but he's definitely the best storyteller. And that's what I respect about Johnny Cash. So for me, loving Johnny Cash as much as I do, I was very fortunate enough to open for the world's most authentic Johnny Cash tribute show, Cash. And so I got to open with a bunch of the classics, and then sing some June Carter and Johnny Cash songs. So that for me was a dream come true.
So first of all, Johnny Cash, listen, I think he is a great singer because his storytelling makes him that great. Okay. Yes. So he's a bit, listen, I grew up, every time I would hear him I would laugh, but that's a good thing when I laugh, because I'm laughing like, this is the coolest. You know what I mean? That's how I think of, So June Carter, can you do a little of her? Can you sing a little a cappella of one of hers?
Yeah, I can do so. So Summer Jackson.
Let's do it, baby.
All right, let's do it. So I'd be like, John, are you listening? They're all laughing at you in Jackson. Happiness on a pony keg. The lead round town like a scalded hound with your tail tucked between your legs. Yeah, go to Jackson. Oh, you be talking then. I'll be waiting here in Jackson, but I'm a Japan fan.
You are ridiculous.
I know.
I love you. Oh my gosh, even like I said, even your personality and your quick wit and your sense of humor, you are incredible.
Thank you.
That was very sweet. So awesome. So okay, so now I have a couple questions. So growing up, I'm going to ask you a couple serious questions, but this is a fun little question. So growing up, did you drive your parents crazy? Like, did you sing all this silliness and, in school and drive your teachers crazy and all that?
I did. I was the wild child, and I actually have an older brother who was the angel. And my parents wanted 3 kids, and they had my brother does everything he's supposed to. I call him a goody two-shoes, but Brody is definitely like just the perfect child. And then they had me, and I'm the devil. And after that, my parents only wanted 2 kids. They suddenly changed their mind. I don't understand why, but and in school I was class clown. I would try to sit in the back, the teachers would move me to the front. Always just not causing problems, never disrespecting, but always just pushing buttons and getting people to work with me. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. My parents caught on to me pretty quickly, and I got, it's funny. So I'm called Shay. Like friends of mine at home, I'm called Shay. And every time I got Shaylyn, I was like, oh boy. And now that's my stage name. So it's pretty funny how it's changed.
All right, so I got to piggyback off of that. Listen, I am listening to you, and that's my story. My mother,
right?
My mother ended up stopping at me. My brother was the perfect child, still is. Okay, I drove them crazy bonkers in school. I never shut up. I tell everyone this as a joke. I should have been doing radio my whole life because I was in trouble every day, not shutting up. They would put my desk in the hallway back then, And they would come and get me and say, Geri, get back in here. I would be talking to the people going to the bathroom, yelling down the hall, hey, you know, whatever. I always push the buttons, and you know what? I'm happy I did, and I'm happy you do. And
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yes. So this is so great. I did a show on Hamilton Radio live on Facebook a few years back, and we were doing it live, not through YouTube at the time. And people would text and talk to us and all that. And a gentleman says, Geri, do you remember Mr. Gray? And I'm on air, and I see this, and I say, my art teacher from grammar school? Yes, Geri. Well, now I'm connected with this guy, and we talk. He was my inspiration to go to art school. He remembered me and saw me on TV. And listen, I had tears in my eyes. So those teachers that you drove crazy will never forget you. They will never forget you because they weren't allowed to tell you this, but you made their days.
That is very true. And I'm fortunate because I'm friends with a lot of my teachers now. And a lot of them have come to see me perform. Actually, my kindergarten teacher was at I had a show at Hamilton Place. It was sold out, my very first Shaylyn Kickin' It Country show. And my kindergarten teacher, who saw me when I was 4 years old, was there. And she always called me the little nugget. So Miss Blair, if you're listening, there's the shout out for your little nugget says hi. No, a lot of my teachers, they said that after, like, Shay, at the time, you know, we had to be stern and be teachers, but we absolutely loved your personality. And there was one teacher, I was in grade 12 and I was getting ready to graduate, and I was going on the road. So I was graduating high school and then touring with Cash. And she said to me, Shay, I truly hope you always see the world through rose-colored glasses. And that has hit my heart, and it has stayed with me ever since. Because, you know, the world is going to be crappy sometimes, and it's going to knock you down, and it's going to be hard, and you're going to cry, and it's going to be some sad times, some bad times. But if you put on those rose-colored glasses, everything's okay. You'll see color and beauty and life and love. And I actually just bought my new pair of rose-colored glasses, and I'm thinking about maybe having a song idea come along. But those are two moments that actually have really touched me from some of my teachers.
Okay, listen to me carefully. I just told a local artist, okay, he's a little bit older than me. I told him he had to write a song because he wrote a song when he was only in his 20s about life. And it's incredible. And I said, but you were only in your 20s. You need to now write another song now, looking back on that song. And he sent me the song the other day and said, Geri, I did it. And I'm going to be interviewing him again. Okay, he's an incredible, incredible singer, but he has the same attitude as you and as me, because I'm the same way. You know, Shaylyn, listen, those teachers, I remember something, and I'm going to share this with you because it's very funny, but you'll get it. I was graduating 8th grade. Now, I came from Long Island City, New York, in 7th grade to New Jersey. Okay? I was a tough kid. I had a big chest for my age, and the boys used to look at me and say things, you know what I mean? And I used to want to pop them. Okay. So for our 8th grade class trip, we were going on the New York Ferry. We were going to the Statue of Liberty. I was only in 8th grade. I called 3 of my New York buddies, a couple years older than me, and said, you're going to come and threaten these boys. And they were like, we're in. They came, I kid you not, in black leather jackets, got on the boat, and I introduced them to my teacher, Mr. Robbins, my science teacher who was in charge, and all the boys. Well, not only did they never say another word to me again, they became my best friends in high school and afraid of me. Mr. Robbins, I absolutely adored him. He was the one who always put my desk out in the hallway. When my daughter, who's now 40 years old, was 5, and she was going to go to Sharon's school in kindergarten, I bring her in. She's in the little thing in the class with the kindergartners, and I go to see Mr. Robbins. And he opens the door, and he's like, Geri. And I'm like, give me a hug. You have to meet my daughter. She's 5. He's like, what? He says to me this, Shaylyn, don't tell me which one she is. I'm going to pick her out. Well, he was picturing a young, dark-haired little kid, tough kid with jeans and a black leather jacket on. Here's my little blonde daughter with little twirls in her hair and bows, and she was not like me. He could not pick her out. And I'm like, her. He's like, what are you kidding me? Where's the black leather jacket? And it was great. But he said to me all those years later, Geri, when that happened, that's something I'll never forget. And he said, and I loved you more. I couldn't tell you then. He said, I had to reprimand you on the boat. And he did. You know what I mean? He's like, but that was cool.
Well, that is such a cool story.
Okay. So you know what, Shaylyn? That's going to be you, your kids, your grandkids. I mean, you're going to be the coolest mom, the coolest grandmother, and you get it from your nana, and your parents, I'm sure.
Thank
your parents,
you.
I'm sure. And
no, I'm just like, so I'm like my mom and my dad. My mom is very sweet, soft-spoken, very just a beautiful soul inside and out. And I am like her in some ways. And my dad is the complete opposite. He is a bugger. He will push your buttons to no end. He will bug you to no end. Oh my God. And I'm so much like him. And it's funny because when I'm like him, my mom wants nothing to do with us. So she's like, Michael, Shaylyn, go be somewhere else. I don't want it. And I'm like, oh, we're getting the full name. And I remember my mom said to me, I hope you have a daughter who's just like you. And I laughed because she thought it was going to be a bad thing for me. And I started laughing and I said, I wouldn't wish that because you're going to babysit as grandma and grandpa. So good luck with that one. And it was funny. So we've laughed about that many times.
Well, your mom's going to be watching this interview. So I'm going to say this to your mom. My mother used to say the same exact thing over and over and over again my whole life. And guess what? I didn't have a daughter like me. My daughter was the sweetest little blonde-haired, sweet kid. She would give me her diary to read. She would sit on your couch, folded hands, and just be so wonderful and sweet. But guess what? My granddaughter is just like me.
See, there you go.
I have 2 grandchildren, a 20-year-old grandson, and he happens to be a Pisces like me, and he's like me. But my granddaughter is 5. And me and my daughter just look at each other and she's like, well, and I'm like, she's worse than me. I crack up laughing and I'm like, okay, Lord, I deserve this.
Yeah, exactly. It's my time to pay now.
I deserve this, okay? So it's awesome. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
And that's beautiful that you share that because I don't have any grandparents anymore. And for my Nana, I was the only granddaughter. So we had a bond, like, she never played favorites, but she only had grandsons and then me. So her and I were like this, and we were both conniving and outside the box, and we'd always be thinking of what we can do. And so her and I got into lots of trouble as well.
I love that. Me and my grandson, listen, he knows, he could tell me anything, and we get in a lot of trouble as well.
It's fun, though.
We have plenty of time. I can share another little story with you because you're going to love this one. So I scrapbook, and every one of my shows, you're in my scrapbook. I have my grandson's entire life scrapbooked. I'm on his 25th book, okay, and my granddaughter's entire life thus far, blah, blah, blah. My favorite page in my grandson's scrapbook is this. The chief of police in my township is a family member, cousin. And my brother got my grandson his gold card, which I was against, okay? And my brother's very well off, and I'm going to share something, and I'm not talking because of money. I'm talking because of stupidity. He buys my grandson against my granddaughter's wishes, and they knew not to tell me because I would have stopped it. He buys my grandson a brand new Mercedes car for his first car at 17. Who does that? That's craziness, right? Okay. Hold that thought.
A little bit.
Well, my grandson, between the car and the card, the get out of jail free card, it went to his head. Well, every time he got pulled over, I would get a call, no matter what township it was in. Jared, we got your grandson again. I'm like, lock him up and throw the key away. So listen to what happened. I get a call from chief of police in my township because the East Windsor police called him and said, we got blah, 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 your card. He's like, all right. That's fine. No worries. Calls me up. He's like, what do you want to do? I said, oh, what do I want to do? I'm going to call my grandson right now, and you're going to take the card away from him. And he was like, okay. I said, and you're going to handcuff him. He's like, I'm not going to do that. I said, but I wanted you to. So I called my grandson. Hey, what are you doing, sweetie? Oh, nothing, me, mom, nothing. Oh, and he was doing, listen to this. He was doing ridiculous speeding in like a 30-mile-an-hour with 3 other kids. He wasn't supposed to have any kids in the car with him. Okay, yeah. So I call him up and I'm like, Christian, what are you doing? Oh, nothing, me and my mom. I said, oh, you're good? Oh, I'm good. I go, really? I said, oh, did you just get stopped by an East Windsor? How do you know everything, me, Mom? I said, I know everything. Meet me at the Robbinsville police station, blah, 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 blah. Do not be late, not 1 minute. Okay. He meets me. He lets me take a photo of him standing outside the police station. I got that with his mad look, right? We go in. That was 3 years ago. So the chief of police explained, my grandson handed it over and said, I know, it was going to my head. For his 20th birthday, I gave it back to him, okay? And the chief of police said, I'm going to hold on to this. When me, Mom says you're ready, you're ready. Doing wonderful. But I made a scrapbook page of him standing in front of the thing. I got the get out of jail card free from Monopoly photos. I got them. I have, oh, you have no idea. This page is hysterical, okay? And that's my favorite page. Oh, yes. So he's my grandson, and I'm tough, but he's me.
I love it. And I think, I truly think, Geri, that the relationship between a grandparent and a grandchild is the most special bond. And grandparents are supposed to be fun, and they're supposed to, my Nana's biggest thing was, well, how are you supposed to have any fun if you don't break the rules? I mean, that's why there's rules, so they can be broken. But when it came down to certain ththings, she was a tough ass. And she was like, no, we're not crossing that line. Shaylyn, you're not doing that. And, and she was stern. And it was like, oh, like, Nana, what are you doing? Like, you're usually on my side on this one. A funny story that you just reminded me. So I remember I slept over at my Nana's one weekend, and my mom came to pick me up the next morning, and it was morning still. And I was like, Nana, could I have a chocolate bar for breakfast? And my mom turned to me and said, no, you're not having that. You need to have a proper breakfast. You can choose something else. And I'll never forget Michelle. I'm your mother, and this is my house. And if my granddaughter wants a chocolate bar for breakfast, she will have one. So don't tell me how to parent, because I raised you, and look how well you turned out. And she turned back at me and said, sweetie, go choose any chocolate bar you want. I was so happy. I have never been so, like ha-ha to my mom. And it was the best, 10 minutes of my life, and then I got in that car to go home, and my mom was so mad. But see, Nanas can be fun, but they can also be very stern.
Yes. And I have a cute little story I'm going to tell you. And then my grandson respected that about me, never held that against me, and was never mad at me, because he knew the truth. He knew me and Mom's right. And, and
yeah.
She loves me. My granddaughter, about 3 weeks ago, I'm with her and my daughter-in-law in the car, and I had extra vegan. We're vegan. My granddaughter's vegan as well. And I had a few vegan homemade cookies, and I had them for her. But she already had lunch with us and had a dessert. Okay, we went to a vegan restaurant. So we're on our way home. And I said, oh, before I forget, I said, me, Mom has 2 vegan cookies for you. I said, and I was thinking in my head she was just going to take them home. And she says to her mother, well, my daughter's married to a woman. So she says to her mother, Mama, can I have a cookie now? And my daughter-in-law goes, no, Ari, you already had too many sweets. And my granddaughter at 5 years old goes, well, I think I should have asked me, Mom, instead, right? Right, me, Mom? And I go, right, Aria. And she goes, me, Mom, can I have a cookie? I go, absolutely. And I hear, just like what you said. And my daughter-in-law laughed, just laughed. And me and Aria cracked up, and she had another cookie. Yes.
It's perfect. That's perfect.
So we have plenty of time, but I want to ask you, what would you like to share to all your fans out there? What would you like to tell them? You can tell them all your social media, whatever it is you want to tell them, let's tell them.
Yes, for sure. So I love hearing from my fans. So yes, I personally answer all of my messages and emails. So please, you can follow me at Shaylyn Music Official on Instagram and Facebook. Send me a hello. Tell me where you're from. Tell me your favorite drink or a love story that you want to share. I'm also on TikTok, so there's this new fun thing. I don't know if you've heard of TikTok, but I do have TikTok. Yeah, and it's pretty fun. And I'm under Shaylyn's Music Official on that as well. And of course, you can check out my website at www.shaylynmusic.com. So I have a lot of merch for sale. Actually, I had some toques made, and there's Shaylyn Kicking It Country on it. So I have some of those made because here in Canada, winter is absolutely brutal and we have tons of snow and it's freezing all the time. So that's pretty cool too. So I have lots of merchandise for sale and I'm excited to let all of my fans know that I am going to be heading into the studio, hopefully with lockdown because we're still in lockdown. I was supposed to be in there April 18th, but that got rescheduled. And so I'm hoping to be at the beginning of June back in the studio recording a whole new album, and it's going to be all originals. So I'm going to have new music coming out, and I have Spotify, so you can look me up as well, Shaylyn, and I hope to hear from all of you, and I can't wait to share some new music with you.
Put your product line on my page. Share it on my page.
I will, for sure.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So what else? What else do you want to talk about that we might not have brought up? Let's see. Oh, wait. And then I have 2 more questions for you, and then you can talk about anything you want. Hold on.
All right.
Before I forget. So you're called an old soul for such a young lady. And I understand why.
Yes.
I mean, just having this conversation with you. But who titled you that? I think she's freezing on us. Ruben, are you there? Ruben?
I'm here, Jerry.
Okay, Shaylyn.
She's coming in. It's
froze
just a
up a little
signal
bit.
interruption.
Okay. Did you hear my question?
Yes,
Shaylyn?
we're a bit frozen here. I did. So I just said, I heard that you said I was an old soul, but I didn't hear the question.
Okay, so we froze up there. Okay, so you're considered an old soul for such a young lady, and I agree just having this conversation with you. But who brought that, like who titled you that? Who told you you're an old soul?
Same thing as the country sweetheart. Everyone who's met me, definitely my Nana and my aunt would call me all the time because I'm most like them. But,
Okay.
you know, anytime I'm meeting someone new, whether I'm at a show, whether I'm at the grocery store, when I was at the seniors home and I volunteered there, you know, they're like not many kids in high school would want to hang out with seniors and appreciate seniors and have patience for them and, you know, sit down and listen to their stories about their life and what they've gone through. So honestly, Jerry, I've been called an old soul my entire life. Teachers at school, Shay, you're not a typical kid. You're not a typical student at school. I mean, you were an adult. And everyone says I'm a 40-year-old trapped in a 22-year-old body. And it is so true. And sometimes it's frustrating because, you know, they'll be like, wow, like I can't believe you're only 22. And I'm like, well, it's just a number. I mean, you know, it's just how many birthdays I've had. But my soul, everything about me, and I think the classic country, the love for classic country music has had a part to play in that as well.
Beautifully said. So here's my question to you, and I ask most of my artists this, if not all. So other than Johnny Cash, who was another influence of yours? Who else is one of your most favorite musicians? Have you met someone that influenced you or not, and who will that be?
Okay, so other artists that have influenced me, definitely Loretta Lynn and definitely Dolly Parton. And I say those two because they grew up in a time where life was very difficult and they didn't have a lot of money. And, you know, women didn't have equal rights sometimes, and they had to fight for what they wanted, and they had to fight for who they are. And Dolly Parton, I mean, you can't miss her, but she says, you know, the only real thing about me is my heart. And I love that quote because Dolly Parton is so real. And, you know, she grew up with lots of brothers and sisters, and she's worked hard to get where she is. And Loretta Lynn, I mean, she is the queen of country music, and she's in your face. You'll go to a radio station, my name's Loretta, this is my song, and, you know, you're going to play me. And I really, truly hope that I get to meet them before they pass away because I do know they are getting up there with age, but it would be an absolute honor to meet them. In regards to someone not as old as them, but Garth Brooks. I'm a huge fan of Garth Brooks. His song, The Dance, is the song that my Nana and I share. And I just love Garth because, again, he's a performer. He's fun. He's on stage. He's full of energy. He's real. He's simple. And I adore Garth and the stories and the songs that he has to share too. So I would say those three are definitely my favorite. A new artist that has just come out, Luke Combs. He reminds me a bit of Garth Brooks. I think he's going to be the next Garth Brooks, but I just love his simplicity, his storytelling, and he's kind of like a bit of an old country vibe too, so he's keeping that kind of vibe alive too, which I respect.
So that's beautiful. So you're young, but again, you're an old soul. So have you ever heard all the jokes about country songs? If you play them backwards, you get everything back, the house, the dog, the wife, the car?
Yes, I have heard that for sure.
I used to love that. When I was growing up and I was younger, I wasn't a fan too much of country music because that was older country music. And now I appreciate it, of course. But
Right.
I wasn't a fan growing up with the older country music. But I love the last even 15 years of country music. You know what I mean? 20 years. I mean, it's incredible. And now I'm a huge fan of it. So, yes, I think it's absolutely beautiful. So. And when I interview up-and-coming, beautiful country singers, I love it. I love it.
Thank you. I really love Terry Clark and Shania Twain as well because they are Canadian. And,
Yes.
you know, to have such Canadian, even Megan Patrick, she's coming up and she's Canadian, and to have some strong female Canadian country artists is a big deal. And I'm working my way into that category with them, and it's an honor to be alongside them. So I definitely love that as well.
So listen, Canadian, of course, heck yeah, baby. They're your Canadian sisters in country music, right?
That's right.
There you go. So, all right, what else? I'm gonna have Ruben play your Nana's song one more time for everybody. But what else do you want to tell everyone? What else do you want to talk about? Is there anything we've missed?
Yes. So I want to talk about one of the most impactful experiences in my whole career. I had the pleasure of going down to Nashville and playing the world famous Tootsies. And anyone who knows country music and loves country music will know the amount of history that building contains. I mean, I have seen pictures of Willie Nelson, Patsy Cline, Reba McEntire, all of these iconic artists that have performed there. And for me to share this exact same stage as them is insane. And again, going back to Terry Clark, she just posted a picture on Facebook not too long ago of a memory of her playing at Tootsie's. So to be a Canadian female artist down there playing at such a historic building is insane. And when I was there, so I went down to Nashville just to sing at Tootsie's, and the crowd absolutely loved it. They actually asked me to do an encore. And my band down there, who played Tootsie's every single day, they said, Shay, we have never been on, on this shift with an artist, especially from Canada, who no one really knows yet in Nashville, and have been asked to do an encore. He's like, you are absolutely killing it. And it was so much fun, and it's definitely a highlight of my career for sure. But from that show, I also got asked to sing at Honky Tonk Central and Kid Rock's, which are the other two main bars down there on the Strip. So I definitely, if you haven't been to Nashville, you gotta go. If you love country music, you gotta go. And maybe when you're down there, you'll see me at Tootsie's.
Yeah, I've been there. I love it. I've been to Memphis, of course. I love it. And that's incredible for you. I have a question for you about that.
Yes.
All right. Now, it's sort of like a trick question, kind of, sort of.
Okay.
I ask a lot of celebrities and incredible artists this, and I say to them, so what do you think about you as an artist? And a lot of them are afraid to say, I think I'm incredible. Are you afraid to say that? What do you think of you?
I love this question. I've never been asked this. So I'm a very, very confident person in all aspects of my life. And I'm very confident with my music. And I am not Celine Dion. I do not have pipes like Carrie Underwood. I don't storytell like Johnny Cash, but I don't need to, because I am Shaylyn and I am my own artist. And I think if you compare yourself to other people, that's when you're going to start to, lose faith and start to look down on yourself. So I'm good at what I do. I'm a good entertainer. I think entertaining is what I do best because I love to see people laugh. I love to see people have a good time. I love to, bring back memories through music for people. And, I think I'm a good singer. I mean, I do have songs on the radio. My songwriting is true. It's from my heart. So, there's no beating around the bush there. It's from my heart and soul, and I wear it on my sleeve. One thing I need to get more confident in doing is definitely playing guitar. I do play guitar, but I don't play it as much on stage as I should. And I think it's because I love performing, and I'm always using a wireless microphone and running here and running there. And I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but there's a picture. I am known as the bass walker, and there's a picture of me standing on my upright bass. Yep. So I have an upright bass player on my show, Paul Breen, and I stand on his bass every single show. It's my signature move. And I'm always doing something crazy on stage because I have lots of energy, spitfire, and I never just sit down and play guitar just by myself. And I think I need to go back to doing that here and there, maybe sing Nana's Little Girl, just me and my guitar, to have that very personal vibe with my audience. So I'm very confident in what I do, but that's something I definitely should be doing more of.
Okay, so I don't disagree with you, but you don't have to do it a lot because they would rather see you being crazy on stage and all that. And then that little break of you sitting with your guitar for a few minutes is beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
So I love your answer. I'm glad you're that self-confident because you should be.
Thank you.
You're an incredible singer. So
thank you.
Just know that. So, all right. So we're coming to the close of the show. What I would like to do, of course, is thank you for honoring me with this incredible interview. Because when I get to interview younger people who, to me, I look at them and think, how could they possibly be this age? That blows me away. And that's what I love most about these interviews, when I can meet someone like you. So you've truly honored me today. Hamilton Radio loves you. I can tell you that right now, okay? And I would love to play your Nana's song again before we close out. Is there any last things you'd like to say?
Oh, Geri, I want to personally thank you for having me on Hamilton Radio. It's been an honor, and I think you are a sweetheart. I love how real you are. I love how down to earth you are. I love your energy, and I'm very glad that you and I crossed paths. And honestly, I can't wait to meet you in person. I hope I get to do that very soon. But I just want to personally thank you for having me on the show and for all of your kind words and your support and your encouragement. It truly means a lot. So my closing words to everybody would be, stay safe, keep your heads up, put on your rose-colored glasses, go have the drink on me, and of course, keep kicking it country. So that's all I have to say here, and thank you again for having me on Hamilton Radio.
So I love you for what you just said. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to let everyone know, please subscribe to the Geri Petito Show on YouTube, because that will mean the world to me as well, because then when I'm doing these, and share it as well, okay? Because when I'm doing these shows, then you could be in the chat in YouTube and we can talk, okay? So please do that, share as well. Thank you to Hamilton Radio for this great opportunity here today, because now we're not just live on Facebook, we're also live on YouTube as well. Shaylyn, you rock. Listen, thank you to your parents. Say hello to them because they raised you. And you know what? They were kind of smart at stopping at you, because mine did the same as me. And look, come on, all right?
I mean,
so
right? We're like a whole different level, so I don't know how you top that one.
Come on, baby. I love you. Your personality is incredible. Shout out to Hunter Lott, okay? He was out.
Yes.
Yes, say hello to him. Go ahead.
Hello, Hunter. I hope you're listening. I hope you're watching. We just wanted to give a shout out to you. You're amazing as well. So I'm glad the three of us crossed paths.
Yes, I will be interviewing Hunter again on a couple different networks, and I will be interviewing you as well. Hunter rocks as well. What he's doing is incredible also. So again, I want to thank everyone listening. I want to thank Hamilton Radio. I want to thank you, Shaylyn, okay? What an incredible, incredible show today. And again, please, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Geri Petito Show, and share it for me. Thank you so much. We're going to close out. We're going to play your Nana's song again, Nana's Little Girl. Let's go, Ruben. Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you, Ruben.
When I was a little girl, 4 years old, my Nana said to me with all her heart and soul, and I'd sit on her lap and I'd sing along and clap my hands after every song that she said. Remember, you will always be Nana's little girl. When I grew up to be 10 years old, sleep over at Nana's making music all night long. I'd sing to her as the hours flew by. She said, believe in yourself and never be afraid to fly. Yeah, remember, you will always be Nana's little girl. Turned 14, she bought my first guitar. She said, follow your dreams and shoot for the stars. And I would play her favorite song, and she would dance while she sang along. Then she said, remember, you will always be Nana's little girl. When I turned sweet 16, she broke the news. She said, I'll always watch you just from a different view, and I'll be in the sky while you're on the ground, but just keep singing and making everyone proud. And remember, you will always be Nana's little girl. The very last time by hospital bed, her hand in mine, she said to me with a smile on her face, keep me in your heart and I'll never be far away. And remember, you will always be Nana's little girl. Her so I just can't seem to let her go. Pick up my guitar and I look up above and play all the songs that she used to love. And I say, remember, I will always be your little girl.